I'm meeting a lot of young people who have been diagnosed and medicalized a lot before they're 18. And I think there's a backlash happening for it, but I'm interested in your own views around the kind of psychiatry movement and schizophrenia and psychosis. I think there's definitely a place for medicine for some disorders, and I think it has definitely been massively overused. And I'm also interested in your views on the DSM and the kind of consensus-driven diagnosis that we're kind of seeing these days.
Well, to your first point, I mean, working in residential treatment before I did my PhD really clued me into sort of some of the medicalization of stuff like ADHD or ADD. And I agree 100%. Within sort of traditional school settings, it has been completely blown out of proportion where you're diagnosing and medicalizing kids who demonstrate normative hyperactivity, normal sort of exploration, and that's completely gone off the rails. When I was in residential treatment, and working with some of these kids who had, in my case, I was on a specialized unit dealing with kids who had they were in residential because they had sexually acted out. There was definitely a need. And there was clearly, to me, obvious neurological complications in some of these kids that they needed medicalized. Not only for the sanity of the unit, but also for them to gain control of whatever sort of neurological deficiencies may have been present. So I definitely see an over medicalization in what I would consider normal situations, not in a residential facility. But the sort of you see on X, the more extreme variant of we shouldn't medicalize any of the stuff. And there are cases where ADHD probably does need some Ritalin. But it's been abused by not just people who have ADHD issues, but it's been abused by people who just want to get a leg up and have more hyper focus or whatever. So it's become totally sort of a wild west sort of situation around this medicalization of impulsivity and hyperactivity.